Welcome back to Bronze League Heroes. Actually, this is closer to gold, but remember, heroes don't necessarily need to be bronze to embrace the spirit of Bronze League Heroes. Let me introduce, in the top right, possibly appropriately, IAmSoBad, the blue Protoss, and sending out an SCV on the left side, it's Kris, embracing his inner Maru as he brings the SCV to the other side of the map. It looks like it's going to be a proxy ranks. Or nothing. It could also be nothing. You never know. Waiting for his buddy to get here. It's a team effort to be able to construct that barracks. He hasn't built anything. Oh, wait a second.
Resubscription confirmed. Automatically relaying thanks.
He's got 420 minerals. It's a command center. It's a planetary fortress rush. On the other side, IAmSoBad sees nothing in the main. Nothing to speak of. Where's the barracks? Where's the factory? Where's the command center? He decides, okay, I've seen nothing. What is it time to do? Let's expand ourselves. This makes sense. No, actually, Eddie on 2 gates. I'm not entirely sure. This probe standing guard at the natural, making sure to keep this area covered. He's taking a look around. It looks like IAmSoBad is on track to actually see what's happening here. He's building a command center. There's no engineering bay. There's the engineering bay started. The probe sees it. What's the play? There's a zealot on the map. All he has to do is keep this from landing in his base. He has one job. One job. He could attack. He's watching the SCV knowingly. All right, he will allow the SCVs to complete their buildings, but he will never allow them into his base. Another probe standing guard at the third. The barracks and the command center complete. He's going to just build a factory next to the very accommodating probe. And then he's going to chase it down. IAmSoBad, not sure how to respond. The command center trying to... I'm not sure what he's trying to do here. Sneak in from a weird angle. You have a flying building. This is the equivalent of making, like, some sort of agile moves with a blimp. The Zealots are able to outrun a flying building, thankfully. But this probe doesn't seem to be able to outrun this SCV. He micros to the middle. The SCV's still on the chase. Takes down the probe. And the other probes say, well, that guy's dead. Why should we care? But during this, the Zealots, he's distracted by the SCV. The Zealots move under the command center. Once again, blocking it from landing somehow. Stalker's being chrono boosted. At this point, even if he was able to land this, I am not entirely sure. I am not entirely sure that a planetary fortress would be very effective. A Stalker comes to push it away. A Widow Mine has completed. And we've got pretty much the entirety of the production on the opposite side of the map, because why not? Okay, the command center is pushed away. Mr. Bad building a shield battery in his main finally kills the SCV. There was a murderer in his midst, but he didn't realize. He's just going to go ahead and build the planetary at his opponent's third. The Widow Mines unburrow. The Stalkers cower in fear, very afraid of the Widow Mines. Who knows what could happen if they burrow. And they will... This planetary will actually complete as a Liberator builds. IAmSoBad seems to be... He seems to be shell-shocked here. He doesn't actually know what to do in this scenario. It does seem like he may have defended the planetary rush, but the real damage was not to his base, not to his units, but to his just existential existence here. He's not really sure. He's going to bring all his units down, but the planetary is done. A couple Widow Mines, a Marauder, a Liberator sieges up in the main. The Stalkers are not coming. The Liberator racking up 5 kills. The Stalkers are on their way back, but they've already murdered almost half the probes. 9 probes go down. He's got 15 left, but this leaves Kris in a worker lead. The Liberator takes a few shots, and the Stalkers will be able to take it down. That gives him enough time to build a siege tank. A planetary at 80% HP. There is nothing at, well, I was about to say there's nothing at home to defend, but now, for some reason, there's a turret, a planetary, a tech lab factory, and something resembling a depot wall. The tank, the Widow Mines, he's going to, okay. He goes with a few zealots in. The second wave, hopefully, will have more success. Going for the Widow Mine, but the tank's shelling from afar. He doesn't have nearly enough units to take down this planetary. It's already racked up 2 kills. Now, I don't know if he's considered it yet, but there is nothing stopping him from simply walking by that area. Just because there's a planetary there doesn't mean you need to attack it. But he's got the bloodlust. Ever since that Liberator came in and killed his probes. But wait, could he hit those SCVs from the high ground? Could he deny the mining? Yes. Will he do it? Alright, the Stalkers. The planetary is still a little bit off-center, but there are some turrets here. 3 more zealots warped in. IAmSoBad. Thankfully, he lost probes earlier, so he won't mine out as quick. Will he go across the map? Or will he engage the planetary again? Walks down the ramp. He's got an immortal this time. Times have changed. He's upgraded. But there are some marauders. The planetary taking a lot of damage. The immortal beginning to blast through. No repair yet from the SCVs. He will take down the planetary with no repair. But will he be able to take down the rest of the units? The tanks are shelling from afar. Almost an even trade. The planetary falls. But there's a Widow Mine drop in the main. He killed more workers. He's down to 13. Was it worth it? It distracted Kris from the fact he had to repair his planetary. But he's once again gutted the economy of IAmSoBad. Oh, the Widow Mine will be taken out. Most of the SCVs, the refugee caravan, makes it all the way back home. And it's going to be somehow 33 SCVs to 13 probes. A surprising turn of events. He's going to rebuild a command center on the ashes of the first one. There's 1 tank at the back, a couple marauders in the front. There are 2 tanks. I take it back. The observer goes down. He's trying to get on top of that tank. He will kill it. But at what cost? There is no stim. The only upgrade in the game right now is Warp Gate. 2 command centers. 1 at the front and 1 a little bit further back as these SCVs cheer on the SCV building the CC. He could use 3 SCVs to build these 3 depots. But much like many group projects, they're going to leave it up to 1 or 2 SCVs to do the work of 8. So very realistic SCV construction there. The Immortal going to micro back and micro forth. A Liberator is building. Does he have the money for a planetary fortress? IAmSoBad, doing his best to honor his namesake. Kris with an average of 37 actions per minute. IAmSoBad with an average of 141, which doesn't make much sense because they're both averaging about 10.
A wise friend once told me StarCraft is like Clash Royale. Build a bigger army and kill all their buildings to win.
You might not want to put that much stock in that, friend. The Liberator microing. IAmSoBad expanding for the first time, nearing the 10-minute mark.
Resubscription confirmed.
Thank you. The Liberator gonna siege up. The Stalkers do not respond. Only 22 probes. The probes are now moving away. There's a second Liberator, though! From the Liberty into the Freedom! They must run again! Another probe blasted out of existence here. The Liberator gonna be able to micro back. He's down to 18. 57 versus 35 supply. The Stalker's not sure what to do, but how does Kris actually go about ending the game here? He's at 64 over 141. He may have overdone it on the supply depots, but it's better to have them and not need them than need them and not have them. So the unit count is 2 Immortals and 4 Stalkers against 1 Medevac, 1 Liberator, 3 tanks, and 6 Marauders. To be honest, in a straight-up fight, it's unclear who would come out on top. But I think a straight-up fight is something we are unlikely to see based on this match so far. Liberator coming back in for more. Kris mining with 43 SCVs. He's got a relatively healthy economy. Looks like he wants to drop everything into the main. Unfortunately, he has several siege. I'm not... Okay. The Medevacs, they're set up. They're good to go. Where are we going? I have no idea. We're just, at this point, we've just set out to sea, and we're going to see where the wind takes us. Okay, so Kris has 3 Medevacs out on the field. 2 split off. The other one going to be left behind. Just making sure he's got the flight path locked in, filed with air control. The 3rd Medevac will join. Got to make sure to use the carpool lane. A shield battery, multiple shield batteries in the front. IAmSoBad, but the drop in the back. He drops everybody in. The tank will siege. There is no stim or concussive shells or upgrades. The tank doing a lot of damage, but the shield batteries helping. The Immortals blasting through. The only army that could just be outright destroyed by the army of IAmSoBad. Marauder tank, not so great against Stalker Immortal with shield batteries behind it. And the drop will be a rebuff. Though Kris still has a healthy economy. We've got extended thermal lance on the way. Unfortunately, no Colossi as of yet. The Medevacs will make their way over. Kris is sending this SCV at. This is the only SCV who went to turret school at the engineering bay. All right, not every SCV is qualified to build turrets. You have to have a special license, and this SCV didn't go to turret school for 60 seconds in order for some other random SCV to build these turrets, all right? They're taking our jobs. Another drop. There are several siege tanks. This planet, he's got a sensor tower. IAmSoBad should be able to see that sensor tower. Plenty of Medevacs here. He sends out 2 Adepts. Will he cancel the shade?
Resubscription confirmed.
Yes.
Automatically relaying. Thanks.
But the drop in the main, right on top of the Stalkers, and there aren't nearly enough to repel this. 1 Colossus comes back. More Stalkers are warped in. He picks up into the Medevacs. He tries to get away. No! One of the dropships is taken out. The second one takes some big hits, but it will escape. It's just too risky to use those afterburners near a civilian area filled with probes. Okay, there are laws, there are regulations. You can't just be using those afterburners. 2 pylons at the front. The supplies start to even out. IAmSoBad seeming to be more experienced as the game goes on, and Kris is not confident in finding a way to end this match, but he does have 4 bases scattered throughout the map. 2 adepts, shade in. Cancel. What micro? Such micro. The shield battery's at the front. A 5th base. We've got some SCVs being transferred to the corner as well. The main base not mined out yet, but close enough. There are no orbital commands when you could have planetary fortresses. The adept scouting is on point. Unfortunately, the spending of the minerals and gas, not so much. Kris does have most of his production on the opposite side of the map. If it is dislodged, he's going to be hard-pressed in order to put anything together here. Here comes. He's got some Colossi extended thermal lance, but the tank's in the front. There's no stim, there are no upgrades, conventional upgrades, but the shield batteries helping him hold the line. The Protoss army trying to blast through. The planetary adding some damage. The tanks are scattered all throughout the back. The planetary taking a lot of damage. It looks like it might fall, but the Vikings! The Vikings from the side! The planetary goes down, but that's the least of his problems. The Vikings look like they should be able to take down the Colossi. No, the shield batteries maintaining them. One more volley knocks the other one to the ground. Despite taking out that planetary, IAmSoBad is hurting badly. As the tanks racking up the kills from the back. The planetary falls, but that is about it. The Vikings hit the deck. They're actually enough to have that plus mechanical damage ripping through the probes as well. Kris eviscerating the main. The Vikings on the ground. The tools for victory. This is happening. The shield battery doing its best. Unfortunately, the Vikings not able to avoid the damage. The Stalkers come up, will clean it up. But 116 to 53 supply. The shield battery's coming up. IAmSoBad. He's down to 25 workers again. The tanks will all unsiege. A risky move. He's trying to get on top of those siege tanks, but most of them have made it into the main. The Colossus will fall. There's plenty of starport production to the north as well. Plenty of money in the bank for Kris. Tanks on the ground. It looks like Kris may have broken through. Another Colossus on the way, but that's not going to stand up to the siege tanks. A group of Vikings as well. All the production for Mr. Bad. He's still got Stalkers. They don't have Blink or upgrades of any kind. The Colossus is knocked over. The Vikings on the ground with pretty good anti-Stalker DPS. He tries to bring him in towards the tanks. The tanks blasting through. Terrible, terrible damage onto the Stalkers. And they're all gone. And that's it. It looks like that's it. What's left here for our Protoss hero? He's warping in. I don't even know where he's getting a gateway from. Oh, at the front. GG. Kris is victorious with his very unorthodox strategy, but is able to take it home as the planetary stuck out like a sore thumb. Yeah, that was actually that was gold versus plat. And if you're like, well, I'm gold and I would beat these guys, statistically, you're fucking wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. But if you feel that way, at least that's a good feeling. Who was plat? Doesn't matter, but the Protoss. At this point, like, I don't want to time people out for just saying that all the time because it's really fucking annoying because they're ignorant, but it's the